At some point in your life, you started shrinking. Maybe not all at once. Maybe it happened slowly, subtly. You dimmed your light just a little so someone else could shine. You bit your tongue to keep the peace. You wore a smile when you felt like crying. You said yes when everything inside you was screaming no. You learned how to be agreeable, how to be liked, how to be safe. And without even realizing it, you became someone else. Someone shaped by expectation, fear, and the deep human need to belong. But here's the truth, the person you became to please others is not the person you were born to be. And now, it's time to come home to yourself. Part 1. The mask you didn't know you were wearing. Let's start here, because this happens to more people than you think. As children, we learn quickly that love can be conditional. We learn that approval is rewarded, and authenticity is often punished. So we adapt. The loud child learns to be quiet. The sensitive one learns to toughen up. The wild one learns to be appropriate. The dreamer learns to get real. We become versions of ourselves that are more digestible, more acceptable, more likable. We become performers. Not because we're fake, but because we're afraid. Afraid of being rejected. Afraid of not being enough. Afraid of being too much. And in trying to be everything for everyone, we forget how to be ourselves. Part 2. The heavy cost of being liked. Let's be honest. Being a people pleaser might make you popular. You might get the job. Keep the relationship. Avoid conflict. You might become the friend who's always there, the partner who never complains, the coworker who always says yes. But at what cost? Your needs go unmet. Your truth goes unspoken. Your identity becomes blurred. You feel exhausted, but you call it being helpful. You feel resentful, but you call it being generous. You feel invisible, but you tell yourself it's better than being rejected. And then one day, it hits you. You don't even recognize yourself anymore. You've become a stranger in your own life. Smiling in photos. Achieving things you don't even want. Living for validation. But starving for freedom. Part 3. Why we build these false selves. This isn't about blaming yourself. You built this version of you for a reason. It was a survival strategy. In a world that teaches you to conform, performing becomes protection. You learned how to read a room. How to anticipate what people needed from you. How to mold yourself to fit in. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. That's self-preservation. But what kept you safe then is keeping you stuck now. Because you weren't born to be liked. You were born to be real. To be whole. To be free. Part 4. The pain of outgrowing your own persona. If you're here, chances are you're feeling something shifting. You're tired of pretending. Tired of holding your breath around certain people. Tired of explaining yourself. Tired of feeling like your life belongs to everyone but you. That's not a breakdown. That's a breakthrough. It's the moment your soul whispers, "I'm done performing. I want to be me." And it's terrifying. Because tearing down the version of yourself you built to survive means facing the parts of you you've buried. It means saying no when you're used to saying yes. Disappointing people who benefit from your silence. Admitting that the life you've built might not actually be yours. It's not easy, but it's the only way to reclaim your power. Part 5. The rebirth begins in the ruins. Before you can become who you truly are, you have to let go of who you were never meant to be. And that means grief. Yes, grief. You might cry for the years you lost living for other people. For the dreams you abandoned. For the boundaries you never set. for the voice you silence to keep the peace. But in those tears is truth. And in that truth is your freedom. Because your real self. She's still in there. He never left. They've just been waiting for permission to come out. And that permission, only you can give. Part 6. Signs you're reclaiming your true self. Here's how you'll know you're coming back to yourself. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You say no without guilt. You outgrow relationships that drain you. You rest without needing to earn it. You speak up even when your voice shakes. You start doing things not for approval, but because they light up your soul. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be real. And the more you show up as your authentic self, the more peace you'll feel, even if others don't like it. Because when you are aligned, you no longer chase acceptance. You attract what's meant for you. Part 7. Let the old version of you die. This is the part most people avoid. Because we're taught to improve ourselves. Not unbecome who we're not. But real healing is messy. It's raw. It's undoing years of conditioning. And that takes courage. So if you're crying more lately, if you're losing friends who only like the quiet version of you, if you're setting boundaries and people call you difficult, if you're questioning everything, you're not failing. You're shedding. You're remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. And yes, it might feel like everything is falling apart. But maybe that's the point. Maybe your life isn't falling apart. Maybe it's falling into place. Part 8. What it means to be free. Here's what freedom feels like: laughing without second-guessing how you sound. Dressing for yourself, not to impress anyone else. Speaking the truth, even if your voice trembles. Creating because your soul is full, not to chase likes. Walking away from things that no longer nourish you. Finally looking in the mirror and saying, there you are. It's not perfection. It's not constant confidence. It's alignment. It's presence. It's peace. And you don't need to earn that freedom. You just need to choose it. Part 9. A gentle reminder. You are not here to be small. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are not here to perform. You are here to grow, to evolve, to shed, to rise. So let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them miss the version of you that kept them comfortable. You're not living for their comfort anymore. You're living for your truth. And no matter how long it took to get here, you're right on time. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, it's because your soul is ready. Ready to tear down the walls you built to survive. And start building a life rooted in truth, not performance. You don't need permission. You don't need anyone's approval. You just need your own willingness to begin. So begin. One honest breath. One bold no. One courageous moment at a time. Tear it down. Rebuild from truth. Be free. If you're ready to reclaim your true self, and you want to keep receiving messages that remind you of who you really are, take a moment to hit subscribe and join this space. You're not alone on this path. You're just getting started. And you've never been more yourself than you are right now.